Hi, and welcome to Dillon Dialogue. I'm Matt Miano, Events Manager for the town of Dillon. I am sitting here with Mayor-elect Kevin Burns and our Councilwoman Terry King. Guys, welcome.
Thanks for having us there,
Matt.
Absolutely. This is my first time doing this, so I'm going to actually expect you guys to kind of carry me along, all right?
We'll do what we
It's like
can.
the blind leading the blind.
Can I borrow your glasses then?
Yeah.
So listen, let's begin. I mentioned you're the mayor-elect, so obviously on April 1st we did have an election. How did all that go? Obviously you are our newly elected mayor.
Yeah, well, it was a really exciting election. We've actually had one of the highest turnouts ever for a Dillon municipal election, and I was elected mayor. I'll be starting April 15th, getting sworn in. And then also on the ballot, we had fellow councilman Tim Westerberg, Mark Nickel, and Eric Jacobson.
Eric, of course.
And they shouldn't feel that bad that we remember because they're running unopposed, so they didn't exactly do a ton of campaigning.
Yeah. And then, Terry, I know before the show started, we kind of mentioned Kevin was the mayor pro tem.
That's
so
right.
we will appoint a new mayor pro tem. Is that correct?
That's right. We'll appoint a new mayor pro tem. And then also, since Kevin's spot will be vacant, since he's our new mayor, we'll appoint a new council member. And I believe there's already an ad in the Summit Daily about the instructions. And you should apply to Jan Clark at Town Hall.
Yeah. Jan Thomas, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jan
clerk.
Come on, guys, work with it. Jan Thomas, town clerk. And yeah, I did actually see that in the Summit Daily News this morning. So if anyone out there is interested, by all means, come on down to town hall, see the town clerk. And do you know the procedure? I know you have to get is it a petition thing? Or
yeah, you want to submit a letter of interest, and the biggest requirement that people find hardest to fulfill is that you have to actually be a town resident for 1 year prior to the appointment. So if you're at 11 months and 45 days or 11 months and 25 days or something, you can apply because you'll have been a resident for 1 year by the time we actually make the appointment.
Okay, I guess I was misunderstanding initially. So if you're that close, by all means, come down and apply.
Yeah, we're planning on making the appointment our first meeting in May. So that's when you have to be a resident for 1 year by. And then there are some other requirements. I don't think you can be a felon.
You can't be a felon.
No crimes of moral turpitude.
Right.
You have to be I think a voter in the town of Dillon also.
Yeah,
a registered
that's
voter. That's important because amazingly a lot of people don't realize that Dillon is really only essentially 5 or 6 streets, so it's pretty tricky finding out who's eligible.
My address is a Dillon address, but I do not live in Dillon proper.
That's true.
So something you alluded to, and I don't know if we had covered this or not, but it's an appointment. This is not something that will be held up or put up for election.
Right.
Everyone will apply, and then.
Yeah, and we're following our town code on that. It gives certain rules on what you can and can't do for an appointment procedure, and unlike some other towns that require a special election, we can actually do an appointment through a regular town council meeting, which will save the taxpayers a lot of money. Special elections are not cheap, and we usually get some great candidates. So it's a much easier process than having to do a special election.
Right.
So
and I certainly know how much time goes. Speaking of Jan Thomas, our town clerk, I know how much effort she puts into the election.
Oh,
So,
that's true.
Is there a deadline to apply? You said you're going to try to make that appointment early May.
I actually don't remember what the exact deadline is. People can go to townoftillon.com and find out all the information there, or they can contact Town Hall. And I said definitely ask for Jan Thomas. She's the one who is going to have a lot of that basic information for you.
And the phone number down at Town Hall is 468-2403. So if you want to just call ahead of time, feel free to do so. So those are the election results. I know there's a couple of other open positions at Town Hall, namely the police chief and the town manager.
Yes.
Do you guys want to talk about where we stand with that process?
Okay, on the police chief, we are still in the process of choosing someone. We've had some good candidates that we had a committee talk to, and we've all discussed it in council. But at this time, we haven't, made our final decision. But it should be fairly soon, and we'll let everyone know as soon as we have that, under wraps.
Yeah, terrific. And then also the town manager position is open.
Yeah, light at the end of the tunnel on the police chief, and then with the town manager, we're currently accepting applications. The notice has gone out to Colorado Municipal League, some other trade websites, and kind of help wanted areas where we're post that. It's actually also in the Summit Daily, I believe, by now.
Okay.
And we're gonna have that position open for applications through the end of the month, end of April, and then we're gonna start looking through that. We're gonna start sorting out the applications, and then have interviews, I believe, at the end of May, and then hopefully actually having our town manager in by the beginning of June.
Okay, so this won't be, it won't be Christmas time before we're looking for a police chief and a town manager.
Right.
No,
still.
that's
good.
We're going to try to, get through the process as quickly as possible. We just want to be, very careful, and pick a good person. We want someone who will fit our town, that our town will fit,
Sure.
and they will want to stay here.
Yeah, it's
for
good
a long
to see
time,
things
we
are
hope.
falling in order.
Yeah.
We've got,
Yes,
the mayor in position now
right.
starting April 15th. Our
Yeah.
council members are now kind of set
Yeah.
up, so we're moving in the right direction now.
We feel like we're really progressing. We've had some bumps in the road, as everyone does, but we're looking forward. We've got summer coming up, and we're going to have some fresh faces, new mayor, new police chief, new town manager. It's
And
going
a
to be
couple
great.
of events, I think. We'll get into that in a couple
that's
of
great.
minutes. But,
That's your line.
Yeah, that's. I guess the pressure will be on me when we get to that one.
That's correct.
Stick with us. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about some events and some other exciting things going on in Dillon. Hey, welcome back to Dillon Dialogue. I'm Matt Miano, events manager with the town of Dillon, sitting here with Mayor-elect Kevin Burns and Town Council member Terry King, pardon me. So in the last segment, we were chatting about things kind of lining up for the future in Dillon. A couple other exciting things going on. I'll let you kind of get into it, but I know the old Borders building is about to get filled.
Yeah, so this has been kind of on the burner for a while now, and we're happy to say there's a Petco coming in. It's supposed to be opening up in June, I believe, and they're actually going through and starting to gut the old store and refinish it and get it ready for
make it
pet friendly. And that's we're really excited. I think we need to have it's been a while since we've had sort of a pet supply store, that kind of focus here on the Dillon side of the county, and we're really excited to see that come in. It's going to be a great asset to the community. I'd say that's just one piece that we've been working on for several years now in terms of trying to fill some of our vacant buildings, get new businesses into town, and it's sort of the latest of a series of successes we had that really, at least since my time on council, started with filling up the old Blockbuster building that was in that same area, and we saw
a core. I mean, that's I know we talk about the town core area, but the Dillon Ridge area is definitely a key component to the town.
It's a very important part of the town because the city market, it's a big draw for residents and tourists.
I go grocery shopping.
That's right, we all do. And then so having that area right there at Dillon Ridge, revitalized, we really are proud of that. We're proud that we took two old, not necessarily old buildings, but empty buildings, and we've revitalized both of them. We have the Verizon and Einstein Brothers in the Blockbuster building, and the Borders building is where the Petco is going to be. So we think that really speaks well for us trying to do something with some buildings that otherwise would just still be empty.
Yeah.
You might want to go get a dog or a cat.
I'm thinking about it,
Do you have any pets?
I don't. I might have to get one with the Petco coming in. Go get a dog and then go get a phone for the dog across the street.
Yeah, this is the kind of get to know your town council members at this point.
We are petless. We need to look into that.
Birds. I don't know. Does Petco?
Yes,
all these things we have to look forward
I could
to.
I could get a hamster. That would be right. That's one of the great pets.
If you get a hamster, I don't know if you want to do the dog, unless you might have to have like a courting or a dating. I don't know how. I have 2 dogs and a bunch of little kids, and I'm gonna cash in there. But I will be going to the Petco. Definitely an exciting thing. Speaking of that, we were kind of talking about economic development and stuff, and I know that over the last little bit, you guys have been kind of reviewing the guiding documents pertaining to the town. What's the situation with that?
So, and this is actually interesting. We had a forum last week where we're getting community input on one specific development possibility, the Gateway project, which I think we've probably talked about on this show before, where we have some landowners who are looking to redevelop in the town core area, and we wanted to get some community input on what do you want to see at the spot. It's land in the town core, so it's certainly of major interest to the community. There's some town property involved, and what would be what would the development look like that would improve the community assets there, that would improve the quality of life for people in Dillon? And so we had this community forum, and one of the things we wanted to do was to start working with residents and other stakeholders in the community to start reviewing some of the language in our guiding documents. That's our comprehensive plan, stuff that we have in the codes, what we have in some of our town core studies that have been done over the years, and find out, are these things that still reflect the values of our community? Have things changed? Do they look a little different? Do we value some things that are written down more than others? Because these are all the documents that when developers look at the town of Dillon, they read all that stuff to say, does it make sense for us to put a new development in here?
Mad at the fact that I haven't read that stuff.
Because
I'm not a developer, so maybe I'm off the hook.
If it makes you feel better, I have read those things, and when we went through that, I'm like, I don't remember any of this being in there. So it's
exciting
it's very detailed.
Yeah, it's very detailed, and a lot of what it reflects is it's supposed to reflect what's our vision for the town, both where it is and where it's going to go. But I think that through that community forum, we got a lot of great feedback, how people were prioritizing certain things they weren't as interested in. But what it really illustrated is that even though we can go forward with some of these development proposals that are on the table, even though we can bring in some of these new businesses into our town, which we've been doing, there's still probably a need to go through and revisit some of those documents, look through our comprehensive plans, see what's lacking, see if it's still actually reflecting what we're interested in doing. And a huge piece of that is going to be going out into the community and getting their input. Questions like, should we have a main street? If we do, should it be on what we actually call our main street right now, or is it Lake Dillon Drive? Do we want our whole town core to be basically be small businesses with maybe some residential on top, or our downtown our town core area has largely functioned as an office park in the last few years fairly successfully. Is that maybe part of the vision that it wasn't that wasn't the case 10, 20 years ago when some of these things were written?
And we're saying 10 to 20 years in the past. I mean,
that's true.
So we're looking 10 to 20 years into the future. Yeah, we're trying to look in the future. This is like a long-term comprehensive
That's true.
plan.
And then I think all of the towns in Summit County, any tourist town has some of the same issues we do. As Kevin was saying, trying to get the input. We have residents, and then we have people, who just visit for a week or two. Then we have people who are here for a couple of months. So it's a lot of different opinions and a lot of different people's input we want, because we want to try to make it nice for everyone.
Right.
Even if you're here for a day or you're here for 10 or 20 years.
It is a pretty nice place, whether you're here for
it's
5
pretty
minutes
nice.
or 20
It's pretty
years
nice.
Or somewhere in between. I know Kevin's got you and I beat by
I think he does. I think he does.
Kevin, let me ask you, how was the turnout? Did you guys have a pretty solid turnout at that community
Turnout
forum?
at that forum last week was tremendous. I would say we had about 60 or so people there, and it was primarily full-time residents. We had some business owners, some people from other towns who had interest, but it was by and large our town residents, which was fantastic. And the great thing was to get input from them and to hear that there was a lot of excitement about trying to find ways to partner with the private sector, do public-private partnerships, things that'll integrate well into the town of Dillon, but will enhance its character, will maybe provide some new jobs, increase our tax base, that'll really use some of our public and private assets to the betterment of everyone. And there was a real interest in pursuing that, and I think that was really exciting for me as a council person to kind of to see that excitement in our community, and know that as we're moving forward with some of these project proposals, that we have a lot of interest in seeing something succeed.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are spending the time doing it. It's nice to have that public buy-in.
It really is, because a lot of the council meetings, I mean, sometimes we'll have a really big turnout. Lots of times it depends on the issue, and we like to hear people's input, but we'd love for them to stay for the entire meeting. Sometimes they think we'll have the meeting and we just agree on everything. No, we do a lot of discussing in the work sessions. So anyone who wants to come on into the work sessions is very welcome, and they can see how all the thrashing out gets done.
And all that stuff is open to the public. And I know Mayor-elect Burns, I can't call you Mayor Burns just
not
yet.
Not yet.
Soon.
He has no gavel yet.
Right? Oh, did you get a gavel?
He gets a gavel.
I do get a gavel. Probably by the time most people see this, I'll be gavelled and ready to go.
He'll be gavelled.
So stay tuned for that. He had mentioned that a lot of the folks that came to the forum were actually Town of Dillon citizens, but you don't have to be. I mean, as Terry had alluded to, it's for the community at large, whether you're a part-time resident, someone passing through, by all means. Those public meetings are posted at townofdillon.com. So stay tuned for all that stuff, and by all means, Town Council wants to hear your voice.
And I'll add briefly, as Terry says, the work, we do a lot of stuff in work sessions. Our regular meetings where we're going through, our posted agenda. We are, as the community forum last week shows, we are trying to find other sort of creative ways to reach out to the community. So we really encourage people, if you can't make Tuesday night meetings, we're going to try to have we've been doing community chats where there's no real formal agenda. People can just come and talk to us.
And just talk about whatever came to mind.
Yeah, we've been doing specific forums on specific items. We had marijuana a few weeks ago. We had this development forum last week. And we're going to be, especially with these guiding documents, there's going to be a major public outreach process. It's, this is certainly going to involve, I said that, more of the forum type events, probably other forms of one-on-one outreach. We're still fleshing out exactly how extensive that piece is going to be, but we recognize that it's not easy for people to just come to one meeting a month or two meetings a month, and on certain set times. That happen regularly. Sometimes you have to reach out in other ways, and so we're finding a lot of success when we do that. When we find other opportunities for folks to show up and participate and give their input, and we're really excited about that. It helps us make better decisions, whether it's about economic development, whether it's about marijuana codes, whether it's about what we should do with our parks, anything under the sun. When we get that input, we're definitely it definitely gives us a lot of help in terms of making good decisions. So we're excited. We're excited to continue doing that. So
all right. Well, listen, we just talked about the next 10 to 20 years. We're going to take another quick break, and after that, we're going to talk about this summer. So come on back. Welcome back again. Matt Miano here with Mayor-elect Kevin Burns and Councilwoman Terry King. We've talked about a number of different topics, and now we're kind of rolling into some stuff that I get excited about. And it's hard not to get excited about the summertime, so up in the high country. So before we get into the events, another really key component of the town of Dillon is the marina. Oh yes, the marina. We always say in our meetings, that's our gem. That's what we feel sets us apart from everyone else. Even though we know Frisco has a marina too, we feel our marina is unique and our area is unique, and we really love to see it shine, especially in the summer. That's the best time to be there. Yeah. So we have a few updates on the marina, a few projects that have been cooking that we know folks are interested in. First of all, we are planning on paving the marina parking lot that currently is unpaved. I know we've had a lot of people asking us about that. The reality is that we've had such a snowy year, and it looks like the snow is going to be continuing probably well into the spring, that it's really not feasible for us to pave that this spring before the summer. But we've allocated funds, and we're going to be starting in the fall as soon as we can, once the season kind of starts to wind down a little bit. So we'll get that paved. One of the things that's really exciting about that is that once that's paved, it's going to actually open up some more parking spots for especially large vehicles. And people bringing their boats in. We know that there's been some issues with boaters having enough space to actually get down there right next to the docks and be able to park their stuff right there. So when we pave it, it's actually going to create some additional amenities that we didn't have before. So we're really excited about that. Be able to offer a nicer experience for the boaters who are coming in. Yeah, and then speaking of nicer experiences, I know last year was kind of the first year that things at the Tiki Bar changed with the food truck. That's right. I think the Tiki Bar just had we had a lot of rain last year, but the Tiki Bar's made a lot of improvements. They have the new kitchen, and I think they've changed their menu a little bit. And this year we're hoping we'll have a lot of sunshine, and it really should take off, because there is nothing like sitting there at the Tiki Bar watching the boats and just relaxing. It is a terrific. The rum runner, is that? That's one of the classics. I'm pretending I don't know. As if we don't know. That's you will not see any of us at the Tiki Bar this summer.
We only drink water, but we've noticed other people drinking.
That's apparently something people like to do down there. We wouldn't know anything about that.
A nice sunny day. That's what I hear.
So we should have a full lake. We're gonna have a full kitchen for folks down there. And we're gonna have some places to park your boats.
Here's something else that we're gonna have.
We're gonna have paddle boarding. Stand up paddle boarding.
What is that?
Interesting. It's an interesting sport from what I've seen of it. It looks almost like
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Yes. Like a really wide surfboard, and you have a paddle.
You stand up and paddle.
You stand up and paddle.
This is started because Denver Water, who of course kind of dictates what goes on with the reservoir, they've opened it up. Is that right?
Yeah, you know, this was actually, I remember when I first got on council, one of the first issues that I remember coming up from folks was there was some confusion about whether Denver Water was going to allow stand-up paddleboarding, what the rules were around that, and the town of Dillon was able to actually kind of go and support that community and say, you know, we need to make sure that this is an allowed use. It's becoming more and more popular. It's a great recreational activity, great way to utilize our lake, and we're really excited now that you know, we have an upcoming meeting where we're going to be discussing getting a stand-up paddleboard rental vendor at the marina. So people will be able to come to Dillon, be able to, you know, if they want to boat, they can boat. If they want to rent some stand-up paddleboard equipment, they can do that all right in Dillon. If they just want to drink their rum runners, they can do that too.
I think we're also going to have some kayaking or have a venue.
Sea kayak
yeah. So all kinds of nautical events going on.
So we're really excited about being able to find ways to for folks to utilize the lake beyond just boating, beyond just looking at how great it is, which is nice.
We keep saying how great it is, so you know we're not making it up. And I don't want to put either one of you guys on the spot, but so we're going to potentially be renting. Do you need to wear a wetsuit? I remember at one point
that
you
was
did.
Well, I think at one point that was a little contention going on about that. Some of the paddleboarders did not want to wear the wetsuit, so I believe. Yeah, it is a pretty big workout, and I think they decided that it would not be required. I guess it's required in other areas, but I believe that it was decided it would not be required. I can't remember if it was Denver Water that made this decision. I don't believe it was the council.
Denver Waters is the one, you know, for folks who don't know, Denver Water is the one who actually sets the rules for being on the lake. There's a multi-government sort of board that helps with some of these decisions, some of these recreational rules around it. But it's obviously it's Denver Water's water. They use it for drinking water for Denver, and they have a lot of different rules and restrictions. That's why, you know, perennially there's always some article or editorial in the Summit Daily about whether we can have swimming in the lake, and you know, people come out on one side of it's incredibly dangerous versus, you know, just let folks do it. And I think people need to, you know, a lot of folks know this, but a few don't. And, these are rules that are really set up by Denver Water, and we as municipalities try to work with them to, I said, you know, allow stand-up paddleboarding, to allow other recreational opportunities there. But it's really a multi-jurisdictional process, and I think it's, you know, it's incredible that we've all been able to work together to allow as much as we have and to be able to create as many opportunities on the lake as we have. And it's something we're always trying to develop and maintain good relationships with Denver Water, because we do have to collaborate with them on so much of what we do down at the lake.
So am I understanding this correctly? Yes. Denver's going to drink it, and we're going to play on top
That's
of it.
Right. We thought that was the best way to do it.
I mean, I'm not going to complain with that. So thank you guys for the role that you played in making that happen.
And also, Bob Evans, our marina manager, he is just so enthusiastic, and he's getting really excited. I think he has all of his slips rented, and I think he's gotten a couple of new boats to rent out, and he's all geared up, or as soon as everything melts, you know.
And so there is a fleet, speaking of boat rentals, there is a fleet of pontoon boats. I want to say they range from 16 feet up to 25 feet. And they do rent those out all summer long, as well as some sailboats. You can give them a call at 468-5100 or go to dillonmarina.com.
That's true.
I was out on one of those a year or two ago with a friend we had a surprise birthday party for on one of the you know, big party boats that we got there, and that was quite a bit of fun.
Cool. Grill and everything.
They got the full deal. It's there is nothing more fun than spending a day or summer out on the lake, having fun with our friends.
I mean, you're the mayor-elect, so I'm not allowed to disagree, but he's actually telling the truth on this one.
And I just wanted to say, I know we were talking about the marina, but it made me think of summer recreation, and we haven't really talked about the disc golf course that we've been, Luis Guevara, who's really excited, our council member who really is excited about starting a disc golf course out kind of near the cemetery.
Yeah, some folks don't know, but Dillon actually has land. The cemetery that's between the town core in Dillon and Keystone is actually the town of Dillon. It's part of it's within our town boundaries. We actually have some other land beyond that, and there's been some use out there. There's some hiking and biking paths and all that out there, and then obviously there's the town cemetery out there. But one of our fellow council members, Luis Guevara, and I think he's been on here and talked about this before, had a great idea that that's a perfect environment to put some disc golf out on there. And as a town council, we supported that. We approved some modest funding to help make that happen. Luckily, disc golf is a little easier to develop than regular golf.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So there's a great, there's some great plans that were drawn up to, for what we're going to start with. If it takes off, further development we can do to really create this really nice multi-use area. And I think we're basically waiting for the snow to melt in order to be able to start.
So that will potentially we could go play a round of disc golf this summer.
That's the hope.
It's very possible.
Well, of course, if it keeps snowing, who knows?
I mean, I'm okay. We've been talking a lot about summer.
Yeah.
I know you like to ski. I've heard that you like to ski.
Oh, I like to ski. I pick up short people out of the snow every day of the winter. Some tall people too.
It should be noted. You do that professionally, not
very
just
professionally.
See, I'm a short person that I've been picking up out on the snow, but I guess that doesn't count as professional. So I'm going to call you for some advice.
Yes.
Well, that's really cool. A lot of great stuff. Looking forward to the summer. Which I guess is where I'm going to run off the set because I'm going to let you guys talk about events.
Right, that's something.
Cool.
We're glad we have you here because
we know there are many
bright
events.
Lights, I know the pressure is on. You did mention the cemetery, of course. That's where we hold our Memorial Day ceremony every Monday, the Monday of Memorial Day, up at the cemetery, which is a terrific hour-long ceremony.
Tremendous. It's been something we've done for years, and we have a lot of great folks in the community always come out to help. To help make it happen, to put it on. It's there's always some of the same faces, which are great every year, and then we always have some new folks who come in to tell their stories. Isn't
that cool? That open mic.
It really is. It really is, and it was amazing how many people actually got up and shared their stories. It was it's very moving.
I was gonna say, if you don't have a tissue in your pocket, that'd be my recommendation because it really, I mean, people come up and really open up.
Yeah, tremendous sense of sort of
community
and pride in, as I said, in your community and your country and everything else, and so the remembrances are really what it's all about.
See, and I've already goofed up because we're talking about community. It makes me think that before the Memorial Day,
we have a cleanup day.
That's right. Which is May the 17th. I know I've seen you out there picking up.
Yes.
How does that work? What do we do for the cleanup day?
Gosh, we all I think we all sign in at Town Hall, right outside Town Hall, and
get our. Now I'm testing you.
I'm an old hand at this. We get our official gloves, and we have different areas. I think we get to pick our own area. I usually pick my area because I know where the garbage is in my area. And then we have a nice barbecue afterwards, and usually several years prior, we've had little seedlings that were given to us, and we go and plant the seedlings because it coincides with Arbor Day.
Exactly.
So it's great.
Tree City. I want to say this is where I could goof, but 14 years, 15 years.
I think so. I think so.
So that is also a great community building event. And then from there, man, we're full on. I know I've seen you at the farmers market.
Farmers market starts June 6th. June 6th, and it just carries on through the entire summer. And that's it's amazing the number of people who come up to me and say, when's the farmers market starting? That's the start of summer. Like we're ready for it. We're stir crazy here with the snow's melting.
I think everyone just loves it. You just stroll up and down. I personally love the strawberry lemonades that the young lady makes it. She squeezes herself. I love it. I have to get one of those every time.
We've got over 100. I don't know. The thing has gotten out of control. It's I want to say almost 120.
That's great. That's vendors. Great.
Yeah. So bigger and better.
Running up Buffalo through the parking lot up Main Street.
Wow.
It's hard to spend a Friday morning in a better place than the Dillon.
Oh yeah.
And one of the things I've heard, we recently reconfigured the
staging of it.
The staging of the market, and it's really allowed people like a little bit more room to shop and browse around in.
Yeah.
As I said, we've actually got more vendors than ever. We've got more people coming than ever. But it's created a few more places for people to be able to stand and eat their hot dog,
That's
or
true.
be able to browse some of the handmade bags that are on sale,
You
buy the
name it,
bread,
we've got
whatever
That's
actually go to some of the farms and buy vegetables
true.
since it is a farmer's market, all that
That's
stuff.
right.
You name it, we've got it, and we've had more space for people, more space for vendors, and it's just it's a tremendous event that grows every year. So, and as I said, I'm already getting people asking when's it going to start. There's been a day of sun and snow melt. We need to have that farmer's market out
And
there.
it's gorgeous out there today.
I know,
which
we
always,
could have had
that
it
sun is
today.
shining, it makes you think about it.
And also I think that the businesses there are a little happier with us moving a little bit to the side, so we're not blocking their parking or interrupting, trying not to interrupt their businesses too much.
Yeah, we have
because we
businesses and
value them
residences
as
there.
much as anyone in the farmers market. We value all of them.
Yeah.
So if you do spend a Friday at the Dillon Farmers Market, starting on June the 20th, you can then in the evening time come down to the Dillon Amphitheater.
That's
another
right.
really iconic place in
Yes.
Dillon. And then, of course, the very first event at the amphitheater being June 20th and 21st is quiz time.
The Brewfest.
The
Lake
Brew
Dillon
Fest,
Brew Fest.
yes.
So no rum runners there, but lots of different breweries.
How many breweries do you think we're going to have this year?
You know, I think that they've had room to grow it, and the Dillon Business Association, who puts on that event, they really like to keep it a nice, intimate number. So it's usually right around 30.
That's what I was thinking. I mean,
it's
really a nice event.
It's one of the things that makes it such a nice event is that you say intimate is the right word. This is, I've talked to some of the vendors there, some of the brewers who come in, and they say this is one of if not the premier brewfest to come to in the state because it is intimate. We try to take care of everyone, both the visitors who are coming in to share their beer, and then the visitors who are coming in to drink beer. Right. And it creates for a really nice atmosphere. You have a day with some the best breweries in the state, and then you get to shift right next door to the amphitheater, we have music programming.
And I will let you know, it has not been advertised yet, but this year's headlining band will be the Samples. So Colorado-based band. And then on Friday night, actually kind of kicking things off is One Ton Pig. So we go from One Ton Pig Friday, hang on, Farmers Market, One Ton Pig, Beer Festival, the Samples. So now you have your plans for June 20th and 21st.
That's right.
And then from there, it's pretty much full on the rest of the summer.
Off to the races from there.
That's
We'll have our regular Friday and Saturday programming, all of our July 4th programming, everything up through the summer. And they said we even have a few things kicking around that hopefully we'll be able to add to that program. Build things out.
I try to surprise you guys.
I think that's good. That's good. That's the kind of surprise we like.
And I will, I know we discuss a lot of this or a lot of different times, but the concerts at the amphitheater are to benefit certain nonprofits and really key partners.
That's true.
So Friday nights are the Dillon Business Association, and then Saturday nights go to support the.
It's the Lake Dillon.
That's right. And that I was going to mention that. If you're not boating or hiking or sailing, there are things going on at the theater this summer also.
The theater's really nice because it adds a little culture.
We need a little culture.
Right. And it is nice because they produce the Sunset at the Summit concert series.
That's true. That's true.
And it's a great way that they not only bring out their volunteers, they have a terrific volunteer base that, again, just love coming out to the amphitheater, but they're raising funds for the organization, which allows them then to turn around and offer us some culture.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things the town of Dillon's really interested in is being able to partner with the other organizations in the town, with some of those nonprofits, and so we've had a lot of years of great success with the Sunset at the Summit concerts, being able to help support our local theater, which we all treasure, and it's been a wonderful partnership, which is I think really benefited benefited both groups. It is a major fundraising opportunity for the theater and for the town. We get to show off the town. We get to show off some of our best assets. We get we get locals from within Dillon. We get people from around the county. We get people who come up from Denver, points further, just to come in for some of this great programming. And it's it's really become one of the sort of premier attractions in Summit County over the years. And it just, what everything that I hear is just it keeps getting better and better. So everybody who's been interested in great free live concerts, look for the full listing as when we release it this year, because it's better than ever.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, I mean, again, this is kind of, I guess, in my wheelhouse, but a lot of that has to do with a lot of the players, the key players that I work with, Chris Solomon, Josh Blanchard from the theater, Bill Falcone, Travis Holton from the Dillon Business Association. Yeah. Really just a pleasure to work with, and they're just, they have a vested interest in the town, so it sure does make it, a great opportunity for them.
It's tremendous when we have all these people and all these groups who are interested in just doing great things for the town of Dillon.
That's right. Including Mr. Matt here. I mean, he spearheads a lot of this, so got to give kudos to him.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And I will, just kind of end as we're getting ready to wrap things up. They call it the Sunset at the Summit series, and while we're allowing the sun to set on this Dillon dialogue, you can't see a better sunset in Summit County than looking over Buffalo and Red Mountain from the Dillon Amphitheater. So
that's exactly
I will add one last date that is confirmed at this point is Sunday, July the 6th. We've got Dark Star Orchestra coming in, so really cool Grateful Dead tribute band that'll be coming out.
Terrific.
And as Kevin said, a lot of different things in the works. But stay tuned, townofdillon.com, or you can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Dillon, Colorado. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you, Terry, and thank you, Kevin. And we'll see you guys next time on Dillon Dialogue.